Hello everyone, welcome to From the Void Podcast, a show all about Eternal and our experiences with the game. I'm Navillus, one of your hosts, and with me, as always, is my good friend and co-host, BB. How are you doing, man?
I'm great. I'm living the dream. I have a Doorbot pin. Look at it. Gaze upon it.
Oh, that's beautiful.
It's good. It's handsome. It's pretty. Audio listeners? Sorry, idiots.
There will be a YouTube version of the show, so go check it out.
That was a gift from our producer, Avantes.
Yes, thank you. I need to get one of those, you know. Anyway, I need to show up at one of his events and get a pin. So anyway, but yeah, no, we have a guest with us this week. Some people might have heard of him a little bit. You know, he's been around in the Eternal community. BB, why don't you introduce our guest this week?
That's y0ttabyte. Hey, y0ttabyte.
Hey, BB.
That was
hey, Nav, thanks for having me.
No problem.
All right, let's clear the air. Everyone knows y0ttabyte. We all know y0ttabyte. No one knows about us and doesn't know about y0ttabyte. So forget all the getting to know you stuff. Let's talk. Let's learn more about our guest. This is what I want to clear the air right now. Tell me annoying questions. Assume number one with the bullet is, what time is it?
No, I have a good one for this. Do you ever sleep?
Now, I suspect that you don't, but answer the question.
But it's really annoying when people ask me if I do.
Okay, so definitively, for the people, y0ttabyte is a transcendent, ethereal being who does not need your mortal sleep. Leave him alone about it. Yeah, anything else?
I don't need to waste my time with one, sleeping, and two, answering questions about sleeping. Like, it's just just a waste of time.
You could be doing more important things like streaming more Eternal.
Or farming foil commons and uncommons and other people.
Have you played... You're a Smash enthusiast as well. I see you stream Smash from time to time. Have you played Joker yet?
Oh, does that come out already? No, I haven't played Smash.
It came out like 12 hours ago.
Yes.
Oh shit, that's nice.
It's kind of cool. It's kind of like a sword character that struggles to kill. But this is not a Smash podcast.
Yes.
Yeah, I haven't checked out Smash in a while. I kind of lost interest in that a little while ago. But...
Yeah. When the game first came out, your Captain Falcon was crispy. It was moving.
I enjoyed it for like 30 or 40 hours when it came out.
Nice.
Is this an Eternal podcast? What's going on?
I don't know. All right, let's go back to Eternal. We have derailed into Super Smash territory. So
welcome to talking to me.
Yes, it's okay for the ones that are just listening to this for the first time. This will happen again, I promise you, in the show. All right. So how was our week in Eternal, BB? How was your week? What you been doing?
It's pretty good. I started the week at or near top 100. And then I decided to have fun, and now I'm ranked 500. But I splashed Palace and Kenedans, and it was bad but a lot of fun. And I made a Ruckus Rouser combo deck on my stream the other day, and I had a lot of fun playing that.
Awesome.
Yeah. Have you ever dabbled in the Ruckus Rouser arts, y0ttabyte?
I can't say I have in either format. I've dabbled with some Palace Kenedans though. I wasn't super impressed with it, but
no. But then every 10th game you'll win with a Berserk 5/5 Aegis Grenadin, and you're like, okay, this is a real deck.
Yeah. You can do that.
Yeah. So
okay, the chat is asking me what Ruckus Rouser is. It's a 2/2 for 4 fire card with Renown. Gain plus power equal to double the cost of this spell or weapon. Mm-hmm. So the combo is, the buff spell that Palace plays is actually a 5-cost spell. So on 7 power, you play Ruckus Rouser, you mirror image it, you get 6 power. You play Palace, you use the 5-cost spell on the new Ruckus Rouser, you get 10 power, and then you play Clutch of Talons and get 3 dragons. So you on an empty board with just 7 power, you've played 20 of stats that you can then berserk the next turn.
Wow.
Usually they concede before you get to berserk it, though.
With that said, y0ttabyte, how was your week in Eternal?
That sounds... I don't think I had as much fun as that. But, So I busted out the ECQ with a kind of Aurelian Mask of Torment deck. I went 8 and 11, so that wasn't great. Made Masters with a Fountain, not too unlike the version that got second place in the ECQ. So I reached Masters this week, and I did a lot of tomato farming and draft, which I'm extremely frustrated about, and I'm not too fond of the new homecoming format so far, but we're getting there. We'll try and figure it out.
I haven't heard any good players say they like that format.
Yeah, it's a bit rough.
It's a bit, yeah. But hopefully things will be changing soon. So anyway, but we'll get into that a little bit later. So all right, let's jump right into our news. We have a new. Let me find it here. There we go. We have a new avatar and a promo card. So if you want,
why the hell are you talking about the avatar instead of the promo card?
Because you know something, some people actually like the avatar. BB, I know you don't like hear about avatars or.
Hey guys, there's new cosmetics in the shop. Also a very good card.
BB, I do this because I know you hate this. So.
Oh my
All right,
God.
let's go to the promo card. Here we go. The promo card that was just for you, man. I had to. So the promo card is 8 cost, 2 primal influence, 7/7. The card is called Magnati Restored. It has Berserk, Overwhelm, and Entomb. When the Entomb says, put Magnati into your deck to draw, and your deck to draw cards until you have 7 in hand. That's pretty cool. Let's say, okay, so what do you think about this card, this promo card here? Who wants to go first? y0ttabyte, you go first. What do you think about this?
So it does seem like it kind of plays that role of a control sort of finisher, I would say. It like needs to be answered, and when it does get answered, like you draw a bunch of cards, which is kind of appealing. It kind of forces your opponent to play either silence or equivocate type effects so that you don't get any value off it, otherwise they get super punished. So I could see it being kind of annoying in those sort of decks, but I'm a little pessimistic whether it's going to see much play until otherwise proven.
This we had a lot of talk about it in SPG chat, and I think where I'm at is, so one of the big weaknesses of ramp decks is you spend your whole hand ramping out one idiot, right? And then your hand's empty, so if that one idiot dies, you don't really have anything else to do. And Magnati kind of solves that problem by refilling your hand if your ramp payoff dies, right? Also, another interesting part of the text is it says to draw 7 cards, so I'm pretty sure that means that if it has Voidbound or if it gets stolen in any way, you won't draw the 7 cards. It has to go to your deck for you to draw the 7 cards.
Interesting.
Yes.
I would be surprised if that's not how it worked based on how it's worded.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So I don't know. I don't know with this card. I want to try it out. I don't know. With the meta right now, I just don't know. So
where do we play it? What deck do we play this in? Does it not exist, or does it fit into an existing deck?
Well, maybe some of those, a couple of the top 8 ECQ Huru control decks could possibly entertain playing this card. I could see that. Or just your maybe temporal deck that hasn't seen much play lately might want to dabble and try it out. But other than that, I can't think of too much.
it could be a market card. Just try one in the market. I don't know. In the Hoover decks, but I know I like to experiment sometimes with cards, but I don't know if it'll be good or not. But anything else to be said about this card? Go try it out. It may be good. It may not. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm excited. I was already dedicating myself to bringing a bear deck to the ETS. Small piece of news.
He's moved on from Yetis. Oh no.
I didn't. Well, the Palace made me. Palace killed Yetis more than any other thing in the whole history of the game. But I'm okay with it because I really like Palace. But the ETS is going on another week-long delay. So if you're planning on playing in that this weekend, they need help manufacturing more content. So get in touch with the ETS, RNG Eternal Zenareth. And if you want to contribute your casting, your producing, or your tournament organizing prowess to them, they will greatly appreciate it. And so will the community. Those tournaments are important to a large portion of the community. So if you want to keep your grubby net deck and fingers on all of our ETS lists, help us keep it going and help produce it.
Yes. All right, moving on. We have the Winter Crowns Top 8 that happened this past weekend. Congrats to Popotito for taking it down with his, it looks like his Genevless. So, anything you want to say about this Top 8? I mean, there was 4 different Huru decks in this Top 8. But, y0ttabyte, you have anything to say about this?
Well, about those Huru decks, it was very especially interesting to see that none of them made the top 4. They were in every single match of the top 8, and they all lost to their respective opponents. So that was pretty interesting, and maybe an argument to say that Huru isn't the boogeyman that we should be all worried about, because it seems to have some counterplay in the format if it can get through 4 different other decks. What do you guys think?
Yeah, FJS is like a pretty rough matchup for Huru. At least FJS that doesn't just sit on its hands for the first 8 turns of the game is a pretty rough matchup for Huru. FTP, I really struggle. I played Huru in the ECQ as well, just because I just wanted to play a deck that was like being proactive, finishing the turn and finishing the game in the first 10 turns. If you don't draw a Merchant, the Rats matchup is pretty hard, but Rats really struggle with Flyers. So I think if you run Rats versus Huru Flyers 10 times, Huru Flyers wins most of those games.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm unsurprised it lost the matchups it lost, but I do think that its existence forces the meta to kind of, in general, lower the ceiling of what it is doing, and it's good for the game, in my opinion.
Yeah. And I think
it's forcing everybody to have more proactive stuff to be doing.
Yeah, Kate Hoo said in our chat said that the 4 Hoover decks all have different curves. If you look at them, I was looking at them like yesterday. They all are slightly different and do slightly different things, and so that was kind of cool to see that even in those colors, there's variation within that. They're not just like when we were seeing FJS. The market might be different by 1 card, or there might be 1 or 2 cards, but these are all, they're all playing little different strategies, which is nice to see.
Yeah, there's like an aggressive Huru Flyers deck, and then there's one that might go a bit more mid-range, and then you have your full-blown Huru Control deck, which really dawdles around and doesn't play many of the early...
Can I ask a question? I honestly, I genuinely don't understand why, if you thought it was a good meta to play Huru Control into, you wouldn't just play Temporal. Why is Huru Control a more desirable deck to be playing than Temporal?
I'm not sure about that myself either.
And do you know what has a really good Huru Control matchup? Temporal. So you win the mirror, and you play what I think is probably just a generally better deck. And I'm not really sure what the benefit is.
I think they still wanted to play Palace, and I'm not sure you can comfortably play Palace in a more unitless deck. I mean, you can, but it's I think you still want a good number of units to capitalize on the Palace.
Hell, get a 5/5 Aegis Scorpion Wasp. That's your secondary win condition.
Yeah, but I'm okay with letting Huru having its time in the sun for a little bit. It's always been a cool faction. It just never has seen the light of day really prominent, and now it's in the forefront, and everyone's like, no. I'm like, it'll be okay. It'll be okay. And so,
well, I feel like the metagame is still very diverse, but it still feels very similar, if that makes any sense. I'm still not super happy playing ranked at the moment.
I think this is significantly better than it was.
It is. I think it's definitely better because it's not 2 decks now, but the play patterns are still a little bit, I don't know. It's getting a bit samey for me already.
Well, on to our next piece of news, because hopefully that feeling will change very soon, right?
Do you want to save that for the end, or do you want to go into it right now? What do you want to do?
I segued into it so beautifully. We have to.
Okay. Let's go into it. Phoebe, take it away. I can't stop you. You're on a roll. Go ahead.
All right. Scarlatch lost his damn mind on Discord the other day and dropped millions and millions and millions of little nuggets for us. They actually soft announced this during the ECQ coverage. But there is a new full expansion coming. It is confirmed that this is actually set 6. And it is coming in May. It is coming sometime in May. which is insane. This is a wacky departure from their usual release cycle. It is called, what's it called?
Dark Frontier.
Frontier, right?
Dark Frontier, yeah. And so they've spoiled 2 pieces of art. There's a Radiant, and there's what looks like Dusk Raider just bopping somebody. So presumably we will get all of the second half of the Smuggler and Displace cycle and support for those tri-faction combos.
Nice.
What do you guys think about the new expansion?
Go ahead, y0ttabyte. Go for it.
Well, the big question is probably going to be tri-faction if that's the case, we think. Does that just mean we're going to get more 3-faction good stuff decks? I feel like Direwolf really needs to do something really like significant in the set to change things up. Otherwise, it's just the metagame is just going to have, I guess, we'll have more viable decks, which is good, but they need to fix aggro being good. They need to get aggressive decks, like making people get punished for like having these 3-faction dirtily decks or mid-range decks. That's the big thing that's missing from this game right now, I feel, and a lot of people are a little bit disgruntled that they can't play aggressive decks to any significantly good win rate right now. So be interesting to see if they add any tools for aggressive decks in set 6. That's the big thing, I think.
Yeah, I think the power base is so consistent. It's like you should just run three colors, a lot of times. Now Huru's only 2, so but yeah, I'm excited. We're gonna get those 12 merchant decks finally we wanted, and no, I'm just kidding. but yeah, I'm excited to see what they do, because like y0ttabyte said, they do need to change some things.
Do you think aggro being bad is an unintended consequence of them wanting to make sick 3-color mid-range decks? Or do you think they don't want aggro to be good in the game they're building?
I don't think so. I think they want aggro to be good, right? Because, I don't know.
They obviously don't want aggro to be the best.
Yeah,
their design flaw, you can tell they don't want aggro to be the best deck.
Yeah, they've been pretty quick to nerf aggro when it's great, right? So
which is fine, but I think if to build a healthy game, aggro has to be able to punish decks that are just like touch themselves for the first 10 turns of the game.
Yeah, I think there's enough smart heads that have played Magic for long enough to realize that philosophy is true. So I think they're just a little bit they've lost a bit of control about the metagame, and they need to try and rein it in a bit.
Yeah. I think, there's some changes that need to be made for sure. And there's hopefully with Dark Friday, maybe they make some more aggressive cards. I don't know. Who knows what this is going to bring, but I hope it does bring. We need aggro in the meta to help combat other things, and it's a delicate balance. I understand that, but I do agree. It seems like right now that they want aggro to be there, but not like, kind of like not a fringe deck, but kind of like one that can sneak in and like punish you if you're not prepared for it type thing, but not.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's what I think, and I'm like, I'd rather be in the meta where you have to prepare for it along with mid-range and control and everything, and not instead of like, I just need to prepare for crazy things that are going to happen if like someone has a nut curve or something like that. But so kind of it's better if you have to prepare for multiple decks or multiple different archetypes than just like 2, so.
Yeah. And I think another important thing to note is that if there was going to be rotation, I think we would have heard about it by now. So I don't think there's going to be rotation for set 6. It seems like.
I think if it's coming after set. Like it's coming the big one after that. It would be my guess.
Yeah. I wouldn't have been surprised if there was a rotation for set 6, but it doesn't seem to be the case.
I don't think you can rotate and then add the second half of a cycle, right? You can't do that at the same time.
Yeah.
Now, cool. Sorry, what were you saying?
No, go ahead. I'll go ahead.
So Kate Hulu in chat says, doesn't Nightfall fit that aggro spot? Nightmaul is not an aggro deck. It's just not. It's the Nightmaul can only exist in a world where there are enough decks that actually don't do anything to make it playable. But it's not an aggro deck. I don't even find Nightball to be a particularly proactive strategy. When I play it, there's a lot of sitting on your hands waiting for stuff to happen.
Well, and Nightmare gets punished by other aggro decks, right? So
yeah.
Question here, totally kind of like I want you guys' opinions, but what if like the power base gets mixed up, kind of like say rotation, whatever, and like a good chunk of the crest or something they go away? Will that help if you can't easily do like three color factions as easy? Because right now they're so consistent, just getting the colors you need when you need them, and the influence when you need them. Will that help, just like with aggro decks, and because it punishes you for being too greedy? Because right now decks are really greedy with their influence because you're gonna get it.
I don't want the game to be designed around decks not being able to do what they're built to do. You know, I don't want that to be the balance philosophy. If aggro is beating a strategy, I want it to be because that strategy is not doing enough by a certain point in the game. Then that they can't win.
I know. I still want those decks to exist, like those 3-color decks, but I don't want them to be like, there's no reason not to play them because you have it all right here in front of you to do it. But there has to be a little bit more, I guess, deck building wise, a little bit more strategy in the deck building wise, where you can't have like Heart of the Vault and and other 3-color influence all in the same decks and expecting to get it all by turn 6 or 7, that type of thing. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, there was a point in time where playing Heart of the Vault in a 3-faction deck was a ludicrous thing to be trying to do, and people just do it all the time now. So there is maybe a bit of merit to that.
Yeah,
I remember when FTP Moment first came out, I would make fun of people all the time for playing such a stupid looking deck. It made me so mad. You have no game plan against anything. You have hailstorms and you just pray you get to Heart of the Vault. And it won tournaments. It made me so mad.
Yeah. But I just think tweaking the sigil base just kind of like, I think it will help the game a little bit. That's just my personal opinion. It's just like it creates a little bit more strategy, a little bit more deck building, I guess roadblocks for if you want to get really greedy. That's what I'm saying. It keeps things in check. That's what I'm trying to say. But anyway.
I think the problem is there's no easy or obvious solution to improve problems in the metagame if people consider the metagame to be problematic right now. Yeah. I do, and plenty other people do. So it'll be very interesting to see what Set 6 brings to try and make people excited.
Turns out this shit's hard. Turns out it's a pretty difficult thing to do to balance 1,000 cards.
Oh, yeah.
Case and Earth in chat says there is no serious payoff for high influence in two factions. Like, it's the payoffs if you can play.
There's that one fire card that does damage based on your fire influence. That's a payoff.
I mean, it's jokes aside, we need more cards like that to incentivize people to be playing 1 or 2 factions.
I would like for Skycrag or Stonescar Burn to be at least like a serious tier 2 strategy that people actually have to consider existing.
Stonescar Burn, I missed that deck. I like that deck a lot. Yeah.
I think we will be talking about that a bit later.
Yeah. Let's go right into it. Okay, balance changes. Oh man, we're on a roll with these things. Okay, balance changes next week, including
y0ttabyte, professional streamer with the amazing segues. Oh my god!
Wow,
come back every week, y0ttabyte.
All right, we need you. All right. Balance changes next week, including Champion of Chaos +1/+1 for each ability. So, what do you take of this right here? Balance changes next week.
I can hear Ilya partying off in the distance on the other side of the world. I can hear Ilya just screaming in joy.
If human masturbation has ever broken the sound barrier, it'll be what Ilya heard about this news.
Yes, but yeah. So, what do you think the balance changes are going to be? I mean, we already got. Zoe was changed, to 8 costs, and another influence added to its.
Wait, okay. Did you actually share what the Champion of Chaos?
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay. So the only balance change that has been announced is Champion of Chaos was nerfed like way back in early open beta. To where Champion of Chaos now says if you have it's a 3-cost 3/3. If you have 3 Fire Influence, you have Overwhelm, and if you have 3 Shadow Influence, you have Deadly. +1 attack in Deadly, +1 attack in Overwhelm. And now it's going back to its original form, which was +1 attack and +1 health, plus those 2 things. So 5/5 for 3 sounds pretty good, but it does come at a price. You have to have 3 of each influence. 5/5 for 3 is like crazily on rate for like what this game looks like right now.
I was actually like talking about Cha-Cha like last week, and I was like saying similar. I'm like, they could just unnerf it and be like not even like the best option like anymore. And, like, so I'm not super surprised that they pulled the trigger.
Yeah, a 3-drop that doesn't die to Teacher and doesn't die to Torch is fine with my book.
I'm okay. So, what do you think? Any other cards do you think might be tweaked? Well, I mean, just take a stab in the dark, okay? Because like we have no, I'm trying to think here. I'm like, I don't know what could be unchanged. I know someone said maybe Archimport Instigator might be changed. I don't know how. I would like to...
there's rumors of that happening as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what are the rumors on that? Do you know like what are?
Just it'll get unnerfed back to a single Shadow Influence.
Okay. That'll be nice.
So they're just it seems like they're trying to push that Stone Sky aggro deck, trying to make it a bit more viable again. I'm not sure if it is, even with these changes, but it definitely is a step in the right.
So with those 2 changes, is it better to run like straight Bandit Queen stuff again? Like you just play like 1, 2, 3 Bandit Queen and win all your games? Or do you want to play something like 1, 2, 3 Vara Obliterate? Is that the better Stone Scar, fastish Stone Scar deck?
I would imagine just spitballing that the aggro deck is more viable, because that's always been the case since open beta. Like the Stone Sky mid-range deck was only really a thing in closed beta. And I don't think anything indicates that would be different in current day.
Yeah. The Overmaster said there will be 7 buffs and 4 nerfs. That was confirmed. 7 buffs and 4 nerfs. So,
okay.
There we go. So, yeah. So, I'm excited. Anything that could be a little tweaked and everything just for the meta, I'm excited about that, because I'm okay with this.
I'm also looking forward to like other cards that haven't really been touched, not just like unnerfs. Like if we can get some interesting cards that have never really seen play, but for instance things like Press Gang and Mask of Torment previously, just knocking off 1 power cost those cards made them like come into the meta. If we can get more instances like that, that'd be cool.
I agree. Somebody in chat suggested that they nerf Palace, and I wish they wouldn't. I think Palace is fine.
I think they should wait. Let's buff. If they're buffing 7 cards, let's buff 7 and nerf whatever 4. Leave Palace alone and see what happens. And then if Palace is still running amok and everything and just making people's lives miserable in the pro scene and everything, so yeah, maybe look at it then. But I don't know. I think you still need to wait a little bit. Don't do anything too hasty. Don't do anything.
Do you think they will nerf Hojan?
They will nerf Hojan before Palace, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
That makes a lot of sense.
With campaign cards, they seem to nerf the things that the campaign cards like synergize with before they even think about nerfing their actual campaign cards. And Hojan synergizes pretty well with some of the cards from home.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think Sojin will definitely see something just with the pledge decks and everything, just to slow it down a little bit and everything, because when the pledge decks first came out after the campaign, I was doing some pretty stupid things on turn like 3. I'm like, oh my word, like
yeah, the bayonet combo.
Yeah, I was like, what am I doing? I'm like, this is insane. Anyway, but yeah.
Hercule Satan in chat says that the strategy of playing Unseen should be buffed. I really like Unseen. Other than Yeti's, Feln Unseen is like one of my other pet decks. The reason I don't talk about it much is because it's always been very, very bad. But
I'm in the same boat. I love Unseen as well.
It's the problem is what's your payoff? Is it Zelia? Zelia is the best payoff. I'm not saying the hashtag, but Zelia is the best payoff, and it's a bad card. They've buffed it, and it's bad. It's still bad.
Yeah, people are saying Hojin just a +1/+1 instead, and on it instead of giving it it's
yeah, I could see that. Yeah,
I would still play it. It's still you know, me. I don't know. We'll see. Because I think they're going to tweak that card. But anyway, all right. We already talked about the best promo card ever. Okay, and so, but now we're going to go into EternalChronicles.com. Coming soon. That's all we know. What is that? Okay, I saw that.
We don't know either.
Like, does anyone have
It's a website that will exist at some point in the future.
EternalChronicles.com. That's not like, that's it? You just like drop it? Just, okay.
So the same applies here, except with Ilya, it's now Manted Man. I can hear Manted Man on the fucking other side of the world, just like jumping for joy. He's bookmarked that. He's an F5 in it, like every second.
Oh man.
I don't know why he would be happy about that. He's out of a job now.
Or maybe they've hired him to do this website.
Oh, snap.
He's like secretly in charge of this right here, not telling anyone. Oh man.
Quick, somebody go to themantedman.com and see if it redirects to the eternalchronicle.com. Then we'll know.
Oh man. But yeah, I'm pretty sure they're gonna do more lore stuff on here and other stuff. I don't know. They may, I don't know. But it's gonna be something to do with the story. It has to be Chronicles. It has to be. That's all I can figure out. Alright. Let's go to the next thing. I know BB has a few things to say about this right here. We're about to get spoilers pretty soon, but they're gonna be doing spoilers as things you can buy from the community store this time around. You can purchase the ability to get a spoiler for set 6. All right, what do you think of this, BB? We'll start with you. I know, or do you want to go? You want y0ttabyte to go first? Because I know
BB has the floor here.
I know BB wants to say some things. Go ahead.
I made a Reddit post about this the other day, which is like always a mistake. You never make a Reddit post. It's always I've never made a Reddit post and felt good about it afterwards. I very, very, very much disagree with the making this into a commodity. You can go look at Bassoon Buffoon SSB's Reddit history to find my extended thoughts on the matter. But I don't think people who dedicate themselves to spending a lot of time streaming the game and supporting the game and being very vocally and time-wise invested in the game should have to purchase a spoiler. Somebody like y0ttabyte should just be given a spoiler. Jonah Vale, I saw a Twitch clip from his stream. I'm not buying a spoiler. You give me the spoiler. I deserve a spoiler. And you know what? He does. He does. Give him the spoiler. He streamed like 70 billion hours of this game. Show your appreciation for somebody like Jonah Vale and give him the card. Give him the dumb card. Don't make everything we do with you transactional. Show us that you like us. Are you planning to purchase the spoiler, y0ttabyte?
So I'm going to reserve... I agree with everything you just said. I will say that. I'm going to reserve judgment until I see how much the spoilers cost. Because the thing I don't get is, like, how are they going to decide what spoiler to give to people? Are they all going to cost the same? Because paying X amount for a spoiler and you get a legendary compared to someone else paying the same amount and they only get an uncommon, are they all going to be, like, do you pay different amounts for depending on how rare the spoiler is? I really need to see how it's all going to work before I really...
Before I get too mad, I am definitely going to wait until like an official announcement. And I said that in my terrible Reddit post.
Because I can play devil's advocate here. Like, sure, I get what you're saying. They should really be giving us spoilers, but you could say, like, if it's priced reasonably and us streamers who get a lot of influence naturally, that can be kind of regarded as giving us spoilers because we can just use our free influence that we've been generating to get these spoilers. So I could see it from their point of view. It is a strict upgrade because us content creators haven't really been getting spoilers anyway, so we guaranteed can get a spoiler now, which is good. I mean, a less ideal situation than the worst situation isn't making it great or anything, but I mean, set 5, only, I think, 2 or 3 content creators got spoilers. So in this case, a lot more content creators are getting the availability of getting one. So it's kind of good in a way, but it's not. I still agree with what you're saying.
I would think, just in general, in the abstract, that a community as small and like a community that is small as and tight knit and like a like just such a scaled down version of like a game / community like Hearthstone. It's insane to me that a giant, massive, bloated, poorly managed company like Blizzard is more in touch with like being in contact and with the people who stream their game and showing support for the people who stream their game. And I realize it's kind of intellectually dishonest for me to say this because I am a person who streams this game, but I also I'm not like at the level, and I don't stream it enough, and I don't stream it at a high enough quality to think that I deserve this kind of recognition. So it's like I'm on the fringes of this group of people, I think. But it's insane to me that like somebody in chat, Hercule in chat says that like Crip wouldn't have to buy a spoiler from Crip. Crip would be given a spoiler as a matter of fact. And it's like just give it to them. just do literally one thing to show that you know that y0ttabyte exists and you appreciate what he's doing.
Yeah, I mean, it's still to be like they still might still give out spoilers. We don't know if this is the only avenue for getting a spoiler. It probably will be, but there's some room for optimism. Maybe
there is. Yeah. Again, I reserve judgment for the full out riot. Like the pitchfork will remain unsharpened until the official announcement. But just on principle, this. It just leaves such a so the last spoiler season that happened there. I'm not going to name this person, but there's a person who streamed Eternal. He does not stream much anymore, but at the time, I watched his stream most weekday mornings. He streamed every weekday, at least 4 or 5 days a week, like every single day, and he was usually number 2 on the directory to y0ttabyte. And just like very dedicated, very high level player, very, very like corporate, smushy, lovey, friendly guy. He actually had to message Scarlatch on Discord to get a spoiler. That's crazy to me. Like one of the like highest level competitive players / like beloved streamer actually had to like ask for a card to spoil. It's so crazy to me. I feel like somebody at that company should have a list of like spoiler approved streamers / content producers.
It just doesn't seem that Direwolf has anyone dedicated to that sort of community interaction, and they're just outsourcing it to the influence store.
Mm-hmm. Which player was it again? Someone in chat asked.
I don't want to name them. I don't want to put that person on blast. In case
that's
they're
fine.
trying to not burn bridges.
All right.
He did tell the story on his stream, but it was like a year ago, so maybe he doesn't want me like pulling up old stuff.
Totally understand. Awesome. Okay. There is Eternal merchandise coming to the DWD store. Sorry. Along with a Game of Thrones board game. Tell your friends. Blah blah blah. All right. Let's see here. There's going to be plushies. Doorbot and Sloth are going to be some of them. T-shirts. What do you think about this? Are you guys kind of excited to get some Eternal merch?
No, but I'm excited for them to make money doing that. That's fine.
Yeah.
Do it.
I mean,
do it, make money, make your product better.
Yes.
And us streamers have all been asked about our details for the merchandise for our respective tiers, where it looks like we're finally getting some of that sweet merch for free. So
I'm trying to decide whether or not I want the shirt in my size or in Scout's size. What do you guys think?
Isn't that the same?
That's fair.
That's good. That's good. So yeah, chat. I've already seen people in chat going Scout. Okay. There you go. Got to get Scout to get one on and have it as your profile picture. There you go. But yeah, so I'm excited for merchandise to be available, and so might pick up a shirt. And so sport the Eternal logo. It's kind of cool. And so anyway, so. That's it for pretty much what Scarlet was announcing and stuff like that. There's the art spoiler you can see, an Icaria sculpture render. You can go check that out on the Reddit post and stuff like that. But yeah, so there's that. All right, do you want to move into the deck of the week? Oh wait,
baby.
Wait. We need to talk to our guest just real quick because
Yada did something hot recently.
Yeah. Okay, BB, take this away. Interview our guest for us, since you know him. Interview him. Grill him.
Okay. One of the only really, really cool things that I thought that was in the community store was for 1.75 million influence.
So much.
There are really only two people who have a serious chance at ever getting it, and y0ttabyte was one of those people, and he dedicated himself to doing it. And the process of you deciding how to make to purchase a custom card. So y0ttabyte never ran any campaigns to my knowledge.
Nope.
And he hoarded all his influence like Zoe, and saved up to create a custom card. And I have been really interested in watching the process play out, in the way you decided to design your card and in your interactions with the company, which I think have been generally better than I was expecting them to be. So tell us about that process.
Right. So I never really had like a huge desire to design my own card. So I figured it would be a really good thing to sort of give the community an outlet. So if they had really good ideas, they could submit them. So for all my Twitch subscribers during March, I allowed them to submit one. They could submit multiple, but ultimately they could only decide on one of their submissions to be their final submission. They could submit that to be put into a tournament that we ran at the end of the month. So I think I had like 47 different card designs submitted. And at the end of the month, we put them all in a single elim bracket, and we let Twitch chat decide what their favorite design was between the two that were put up each round. So ultimately, we got down to the finals, which, going back to our love for Feln or Unseen, both the finalists were Unseen Matters cards, so it does seem like the community also is hankering for some more Unseen goodness. But ultimately, the one that won was a Justice Unseen card that was a 1/1 for 3, so kind of similar to Hero of the People, and it gains any battle skills or changes to its strength and health permanently. So, for instance, if you put a Rapid Shot on the unit, it would just keep that +4 +0 quick draw for the rest of the game, or until it died, whatever. So that's the card that won, and then obviously I departed with my mountain of influence. Much to
Was there like when you click the button, were you like a little like? Ugh!
Yeah, and of course there was no fanfare when I clicked the button. It was just like, purchase completed.
Just like
that was it. It was the most anticlimactic transfer of anything ever.
Okay, I have two big problems with the card though. Why would you make a Justice card? I understand you did not have input. Who let a Justice card be the card? Okay, can we talk about this? Justice has it all. The rich get richer with Justice cards.
Yeah, it is a bit like that, but it does make sense for the card to be Justice, because just Justice Unseen do care about battle skills more than other factions. For instance, like Tranquil Scholar and Bisma, 2 examples. So it does feel like it should be a Justice card, but giving Justice more good is not ideal. Yeah.
And I do think you made an excellent decision. The card you'd submitted, you actually changed the stats and cost of the card before you submitted it.
Yeah, so a 3 cost 1/1 is not particularly exciting because
I
firstly,
hear there's stuff
being-
people want to play on 3.
yeah, like the merchants, right? So
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to justify playing other three power units. So I kind of wanted to avoid that. So I either wanted it to be a 1 or 2 power unit. So ultimately, I changed it to 2, and then we were very optimistic in changing its strength to 3 and its health to 2, just with the thinking of we'll submit something that might be a little OP and let Direwolf figure out if it is OP or not, and they can tune it downwards, rather than submit something that might be underpowered and trying to convince Direwolf to maybe make it stronger during the process. So it is optimistic making it a 3-2 for 2, but it is kind of like it's like that soldier, right? Argenport soldier or whatever. But it has a slight upside, I guess you could just a slight upside. So I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up being a 2-2 for 2. I hope it isn't nerfed too much lower than that. It'd be exciting to have a marquee community design card to see some competitive play, or at least give it a good shot at making it in the competitive circles for now.
Well, it's worth noting that even if it were a 1-2 for 2, well, you slap a Finest Hour on that bad boy, suddenly you have Mega Seraph.
Yeah.
So I don't even think that it being a 1-2 would be unplayably bad in the strategies that it would see play in.
I definitely didn't want it to have 1 health, because then it dies to a lot of snowbally sort of stuff. So
and snowballs are really popular right now. Yeah, 1-2 for 2
exactly.
is fine. If they give him Hojin stats, you send it back and you say try again. Pattern shaping. I spent $2 million on it.
So we're at the stage where they've actually implemented the card in their test servers, and they're trying it with not only current cards but future cards to see how broken or not broken it is right now, and that's where we're at.
Cool. I think we talked about this last week. That'd be really cool if it comes out like as a promo card or something like that. That'd be kind of cool.
I actually asked them how they're going to release it. I haven't heard back about what their plans are to release it. So yeah, no idea. I don't think it'll be set 6 either. It might be a bit too late.
Yeah.
They sent a really interesting letter, like a really interesting questionnaire to you, with a lot of questions that I wasn't expecting them to ask about the card. And you actually went over it on stream. I really appreciate how public you were with this whole process. But they had really interesting questions about, like, what's the lore of the card? Or, like, not just, like, what do you want the card to do, but how do you intend for it to be played? And stuff like that.
Yeah, and even like the lore and stuff like that. Like, I wasn't too interested in that, but if someone wanted to submit a custom card, and this is why I'm making it more public, because I realize I'm in a somewhat of a unique position of being able to afford this, and a lot of people kind of are looking to me and want to know what the process is going to be like, and if it's worth for them to save up a mountain of influence to make their own ones. So I'm trying to make the whole process sort of clear to everyone, how it's going to work, that sort of stuff. And yeah, they asked everything about the card, like what the art you wanted to be, what the characters, background, stuff like that. I was just like, yeah, you guys can worry about that. I'm not too fussed.
Was it EMSIS that made the card?
It was one of my subscribers called Drizzt.
Drizzt, okay. Did they have any input as to what the lore should be?
I definitely opened it up to them, because I didn't really have much of a preference about all that. So I definitely asked him, and he didn't really have any preference either. So ultimately, we'll just let Direwolf's artistic department figure out what they want to do.
Did we settle on a name? What was the name you guys settled on?
That's also up in the air, because the original name was Kira the Prodigy, and I kind of wanted my name on it, just because since it's not my card
desire.
Yeah, so I was like, it's not my card design, but I kind of want some sort of mark on the card. Whether it's in the name or maybe in the art, I could be like an image of me somewhere on the art, something like that.
What if they made it like one of those magic eye puzzles where if you cross your eye and look at it, y0ttabyte shows up?
Yeah. Why not? So we were
One of the
thinking
best
about.
suggestions I saw about that was somebody suggested that Kira be holding an owl and the owl's name be Yotta.
Yeah. So it's like Kira the Prodigy or Yotta the Prodigy, and another good suggestion was Kira Prodigy of Yotta, were the three main ones. So that's another thing I've sent to DWD. Like, what are your opinions on this? Like, it's up to them. I'd like to know what their opinion on the best name for the card is.
I'm interested to hear back. I'm interested to hear back more about the process.
Yeah, it's very interesting, very cool. And so, just I look forward to seeing the final rendition of this card. So, for sure.
Yeah,
I
it'll
believe
be interesting for sure.
I believe Jimmy D Knight in the chat said they plan on doing like a special event when they release the card. I don't know what that means, and so, but that'd be kind of cool if it's kind of like.
What if they do one of like the weekend? You know, it starts on Friday, ends on Sunday. You pay 2,000 gold to enter, but every deck has to have a playset of the new card in it.
Yeah, maybe something like that.
That'd be kind of cool. That'd be kind of cool and everything. So maybe like a little story part of the lore or something like that. Just like, I don't know. It could be like a mini campaign they throw it in. I don't know. That'd be kind of cool. Like 2,000, just go for like a, 5 battle mini campaign. Give me a little bit of the backstory on the card. That'd be kind of cool. And
You actually have to sub Yotta to get your.
Ka-ching!
Oh, somebody in chat says, "What if it's in the influence store? What if you have to buy the card with influence?
Oh no!
What if every copy of Yotta the Unseen costs 1.57 million influence?"
Oh man, it better be overpowered then. It better be like the most powerful card in Eternal. Okay. So that's a really cool process. Thank you for sharing that, y0ttabyte. That was really cool to hear that and discuss that and everything. All right. Speaking of cards, because it's an Eternal show, let's go on to the deck of the week. Okay, this right here, I'm going to bring it up here, is the Collector's deck. And why don't you, just kind of talk about this deck, BB, or who's going to talk about it, BB or y0ttabyte? Which one?
y0ttabyte's the only one here that's played the deck.
Okay.
Oh, you haven't played?
Okay.
Okay.
y0ttabyte, just run through
I just know it's very popular.
Yeah. Run through the list real quick. You don't have to give the numbers of all the cards, but let the listeners know that are audio only, like what's in this deck, and then just talk about it. How does it work? Tell me.
For sure. Yeah, this is Batteries has been spreading this deck around the community like wildfire, like the
Like a
mad
plague.
brewer he is. Yes. So there's a number of Rats decks in the ECQ, and I definitely was considering taking it myself. But it definitely centers around the card Rat Cage, which whenever you play Rat Cage or another relic, it puts a 1/1 rat in play, which can't block. So obviously, coupling that with many other relics in the deck, like Pitfall Trap, Secret Passage, Teacher of Humility, like units that generate relics. Another one, Severin, the new card from Homecoming. He generates random rings and Xenonobulus, that sort of stuff. It's a very token-esque go-wide strategy. And just a Relic Matters deck. And another powerful card, it doesn't seem powerful on paper, but it's a 0/3 called Lethrai Courtier, and it has the text, whenever you play a relic, you can play the top, you draw the top power on your deck. Yeah, it already is insane, right?
Yeah.
So that's very powerful, because not only do you draw a power, you draw the top power, so it makes your future draws less likely to be power, which is great. Playing Courtier with a bunch of cheap relics like Rat Cage, Pitfall Trap, gains you a lot of power and makes your future draws even better. So once that engine gets going, it's very powerful indeed.
Cool. What are you looking for in your opening hand? Like, what cards do you want?
Definitely Rat Cage, Courtier. It's got 7 smugglers, so you probably want some sort of access to the market as well. But definitely your Rat Cages and stuff like that. It has 4 copies of Display of Knowledge, so if you are struggling to find your Rat Cage or a particular relic that you need, you can tutor through your deck for one. Right?
I see there's one vault of the Praxis in. That's because there's just a card draw engine right there. Let's see here. All right, market. Tell us about the market. Okay, you have Unearth the Past, Sandstorm Scarf, Vara's Choice, Bizarre Stampede, and Lumen Shepherd.
Right, so the main notable one is Bizarre Stampede. That's your big win condition, because the deck is all about playing all these collections of little relics like Rat Cage, Pitfall. By the late game, you have 4 or 5 relics in play that have different names. So Bizarre Stampede reads, your units permanently gain plus X for each relic in play that has a different name.
Oh,
so
I didn't even realize that was permanent. Good
yeah,
lord.
it's permanent. So you can just give a huge +4, +5 to your whole board. So you just kill your opponent with a bunch of 6/6 rats. And that closes out the game real quick if you have any significant board presence.
Spicy, I like it.
So you guys have cut, or this deck specifically has cut, the 1-cost relic that gives all your units Overwhelm and silences a unit in the opponent's hand. Was that just deemed not necessary because you're already going so wide that the Overwhelm doesn't matter?
That was in the previous version of the deck because it coupled with Shepherd's Horn. So you would give all your units Overwhelm, and then you would play Shepherd's Horn, so whenever you played units, you would gain a ton of health.
Okay.
It wasn't really that particularly... It was only powerful if you had other cards like Kartra and stuff like that as well, and then you would get that Bizarre Stampede sort of effect. Now you can just play Bizarre Stampede and not have to jump through a bunch of hoops to try and get that sort of effect. So I think that's why that ultimately got cut from the deck.
I assumed the win con often enough was Overwhelm damage with the Bizarre Stampede, though. But I guess
you don't really need it, right? Yeah, you don't really
so
need it. Like your board, your units are massive, so you're just going to kill your opponent either way. Overwhelm.
Well, this is definitely cool. I definitely will be trying this out after we get done here because it just looks different and it looks fun. So, and then just beating your opponent with a bunch of rats sounds great. You know, just
this deck is like stone cold unplayable once human beings remember that Hailstorm is a card, right?
Yeah, Hailstorm is definitely an issue, but it's surprisingly resilient to board wipes and even cards like Boar. You can get bored, and sure they might get 4 of your relics, but you can eventually just rebuild again and don't have to worry about that Boar unless they happen to merchant it back into the market, which can be a possibility. But I definitely played this deck and got board wiped and relic wiped and managed to rebuild and finish out the game with no problem.
I actually Curator's Spear, the 2/1 relic weapon that gets +1 if you have another relic. I thought this card was a pile o' garbage, but in this deck it's actually kind of spoony. It's kind of scary.
Yep.
It's the main card that I think that's really pushed this archetype is the Severin from Homecoming.
Absolutely.
Things like being able to play Pitfall Trap for free and use its loot effect for free, because Severin reduces the cost of your relics and their activated abilities by 1 power. That's very powerful in this deck, especially with the Pitfall Trap. Just being able to... Because you're easily making rats every turn, so it activates the Pitfall's Trap loot requirement. And just getting those free loots is awesome.
That's pretty cool.
And then obviously you really want for the first time ever, you really want Granite Ring to get off the Severin, because that can also just push a bunch of damage if you have a ton of rats.
I played a lot of Kenedans this week. Kenedan versus this deck is a very, very, very bad matchup, like borderline unwinnable unless you just get nuts. But I did win one game by end of hostilitying their Severin and getting the Overwhelm, and then winning through all their little 1/1s with Overwhelm.
Nice.
Cool. Well, this is definitely a cool deck, so if you want to play some rats, play a sort of token relic strategy.
Yeah,
play
if
this
you're
deck.
tired of playing 3-faction good stuff, play 3-faction bad stuff that is better than the sum of its parts. So, and it seems cool.
Yes, it is. It is. So, all right, let's close out this show, people. All right, y0ttabyte, thank you for joining us. Where can they find you on Twitter, Discord, Twitch, all that good stuff, Reddit, even, all that. So just give us all that stuff.
Yep. So I'm usually streaming at Australian evening, American morning, Europe afternoon, I guess, on twitch.tv/y0ttabyte. That's y0ttabyte. I'm on Twitter. I don't really use it much, but y0ttabyte AU on Twitter. And that's it. That's where you can find me.
Awesome.
And
I do have
never
a
ask him
Discord.
about his sleep schedule again.
Yeah, don't ask me about my sleep schedule. I do have a Discord as well. That's discord.gg/y0ttabyte as well. I do have a little corner of the internet that I do hang out with my viewers, so feel free to
Can I
join
make a
that as well.
confession? I sneaky entered your Discord last week and never said anything. I've been there. I've been lurking.
Ooh, you're a lurker. Okay.
Oh.
Awesome. All right, BB, where can they find you?
You can find me on twitter.com/humanvenipede. It's the best tag on the website. Shut up, y0ttabyte. I stream at twitch.tv/bassoonbuffoon, debating on whether or not I will be purchasing a spoiler. We'll see. Yeah, nothing matters. The heat death of the universe is upon us. I'll see you guys next week.
Awesome. Yeah, you can find me at WhatTheDeckHS on Twitter. Talk everything from Eternal to Hearthstone to Arena. Any card game I will talk about because I like card games. And then I'm in most of the Discords. I'm in BB's Discord. We have our own Discord, From the Void Podcast, if you'd like to join that and talk about if you'd like to talk about that. You can go to fromthevoidpodcast.com. There's a link there to our Discord. You can also follow us on Twitter at FromTheVoidCast to get updates about the show. And so that is it. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for joining us on the stream. And until next week, we'll see you from the void. Later, everyone.